Man, listen. You know, believe it or not, this isn't what it seems. We can explain what we're doing.
But you can tell that to the cops. They'll be here in a minute.
Okay, let me try to explain. You got the tape recorder?
No.
Yeah, he made positive ID.
Let me get... You were holding a gun on Castillo and his sidekick, Ed, and they managed to get away? I don't...
Yes, but this guy was quick. He kicked the gun out of my hand.
Defensive? Listen, I had a run-in with Plastic Man yesterday.
I think I have a concussion.
Well, we'll take care of you. Were you able to identify this woman that he was with?
No, I never saw her before.
Well, here, will this, help?
Yeah, that's her.
You made me a very happy man. Who are you?
I'm Dr. Schatz. This is my office. I got a phone call a few minutes ago saying it had been broken into.
Yeah, it sure was. We know by whom, but we don't know why. Maybe you can help us. Was anything missing?
Well, I had a few rather valuable pieces of artwork around. They all seem to be here. It'll take time to ascertain if anything's been removed from my files.
Will you recognize one of these two beauties?
It's the woman that was here today asking for referrals. Eden Capwell. She was in a wheelchair.
Not when I saw her.
She was being carried?
No, she was standing and walking around.
Walking? I have now used up my lifetime allotment of dumb. Get on the phone, call down to headquarters, tell them to put out an arrest warrant for aiding and abetting, and breaking and entering.
The accused?
Eden Capwell, you moron. Who else?
I can't make out any of this. It's like Dr. Schatz has some sort of code or something.
Okay, well, let's try let's see what's on the tape. This is the first session, I think.
Lena, when you came to me, you said you were feeling as if you were losing control.
I've always been a very self-contained person, Doctor. No one really knows me, not even my father. Especially not my father. But now I feel like parts of me are breaking off and everything seems as if it's closing in.
When did you begin to feel this frightening feeling?
After I got the letter from Pamela, my mother, although I never referred to her as my mother. When I read it, I hated her for deserting me. I'd learned to live without her, and I wasn't going to give her another chance to hurt me.
Let's get back to this particular letter. You said your mother revealed something you hadn't known before. Something that devastated you.
Yes. And after that, the feelings of rage just completely overwhelmed me, and I knew that I would go crazy if I didn't get revenge.
Wasn't the fact of her dying revenge enough for you?
No, my rage wasn't against Pamela this time. It was against my father.
Alex Nicholas?
No, against my real father.
Who was that?
Was and is C.C. Capwell.
The woman who tried to kill me, who tried to kill all of us, was my sister. She was so obsessed with our family, why she wanted to hurt us. I would have never believed the truth was that she was my sister.
Nobody could have believed this whole thing. It's just too crazy. At least it explains why she called Cece over to the Laser Palace that night, and hopefully it'll explain a lot more.
Cruz, how am I going to tell Daddy about this?
Well, maybe he already knows.
Do you think that's possible? No, that it can't be. He couldn't know. Elena didn't want any of us to find out.
Well, okay, let's just see if we got some answers here on the second tape.
Cruz and I were together constantly. We were both very lonely and we wanted each other. I know he wanted me. He just wouldn't give in to his real feelings, to his real needs.
What do you think stood in the way?
I don't think, I know. The Capwells. Eden, to be precise. I'll bet Cece prayed that Pamela's unborn brat would die at birth. In fact, for all he knew or cared, I did. He already had a son, Mason, and he was just about to start spawning another litter with Sophia. So what did he need me for? Much easier to just ignore my existence, to deny my rightful place in the world.
When you believed Eden denied you the man you loved.
Yes. And do you know that she came back from the dead to do it? It was all happening just the way I planned it. Until Eden showed up, and then everything started to fall apart. Eden ruined my life. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a room that keeps getting smaller every minute. There are hundreds of doors in this room, but they're all locked. So I look around, and finally I see a way out. The only way out.
Describe the way out, please.
Our time's up, Doctor. I see by your clock. You're going to have to wait till the next session to hear me out. You think you can bear it?
Damn it, we're so close, you know? Obviously, the third session is going to be the key.
Yeah, but the tapes and the notes from it are missing. What are we going to do?
I don't think we have any choice. We're going to have to take a risk and go see Dr. Schatz.
You know, I cannot believe that this man didn't come forward at the beginning of this trial. These tapes would have poked holes in the prosecution's case. She admitted that she didn't even have an affair with you.
Maybe he's a stickler for confidentiality, even though his patient is dead.
Yeah, well, he should be arrested for withholding information. I think we should take these two tapes to the police and force him to produce the last one.
No, baby. We can't afford to turn these things over until we make sure we got the goods on her on the third tape. The only person who can tell us if that's going to happen is Schatz himself. We're going to have to go and see him.
Yeah, well, the police are going to have the place staked out, don't you think?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't work that way. They'll never expect us to go to the same place 2 times in one night.
Well, what if he won't help?
He has to help. There's a light on.
Yeah, it could be Keith in a room full of police.
Yeah, but there's nobody outside and there's no voices in there. I bet he's in there.
Look, I just don't get a good feeling about this, okay? Why don't we just go and we'll come back when everything's cooled down?
I'm too close now, Eden. I gotta go in there.
Well, then let's just get it over with.
I love you.
I love you.
Come on. Dr. Schatz?
Is he alive?
Yeah, barely call an ambulance, baby. Doctor? Oh, I'm sorry. Listen.
Yes.
We're gonna get you some help. Who did this to you?
Don't know.
Yes, sir.
Didn't see them.
Dr. Schatz.
Maybe the people who broke in tonight.
No, that was us. We broke in tonight. See, Doctor, I've been convicted of the murder of Elena Nicholas, but I didn't kill her. Now, we know that you had 3 sessions with her. We got hold of the tapes of the first 2. We listened to them. We need to know what was said in the 3rd session. It might save my life.
He'll be here. Just a minute.
3rd session. I couldn't make out a word of it. It hypnotized her. She spoke in a language I never heard before.
Do you know where the tape is? Doc, hang on. There's an ambulance. He's gone.
We gotta get out of here.
He's gone.
Come on, Cruz. We gotta get out of here.
Okay, but
Come on.
wait a second. What is that doing here?
Come on.
Look at that.
Get out of here.
What the hell is that doing here?
No. Thank you. That's very good work. Go on your vacation. I'm sure you'll enjoy the Rockies. They found Castillo's fingerprints on the doorknob. They weren't there after he broke in earlier. Oh, what a tasty dish to set before the king.
Blue.
But this is the same symbol that was on Dr. Schatz's wall, right?
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure of that. Question is, what does it stand for? And who the hell put it there?
This one's... me.
Oh, thanks. That's a good coffee, darling?
Boiling water is one of my specialties. Frankly, I don't know how you've gotten along without me.
Well, I actually haven't. What are you doing with that?
This is not something I like looking at first thing in the morning.
What's wrong?
I don't know, it makes me nervous.
Once we figure out what it means, it's going to give us the key to Elena's murder.
I hope so.
You know, when we first saw it in her hotel room, I wasn't quite sure. Having seen it again, scrawled like a warning on Dr. Schott's wall, there ain't no doubt in my mind.
You know, I wish I could believe that. We're gonna solve
Well,
this.
shit, baby, we are going to solve it. Once that happens, be able to go home and live like human beings again.
I don't know if I want to go home. With all the unfairness out there.
Well, the only unfairness is really on the part of that one sad man, sick man, really. Once I clear myself, he won't be able to touch me again.
Why don't we not go back anyway? Why don't we build a house in a cave? And we can catch fish every night for dinner.
Who's going to cook the fish?
Oh, now, come on. Boiling water is hard enough. Don't rush me.
I know. Tell you the truth, it's tempting. But there's something going on in Santa Barbara we can't close our eyes to. I mean, I can't believe that someone else actually got killed over this. Someone's got to put a stop to it. And who's going to do that? If we turn away. Tape of Elena's last session as much as we do.
You already know what I think.
Alex Nicholas.
The minute he saw me heading for that office, he was right behind me, following me like a little puppy dog with the same excuse. Oh, just visiting a friend. I mean, come on. He was afraid of what I would find. He was afraid the same way when I asked for Elena's address book.
So he was afraid. That isn't not enough to pin this on him.
Yeah, I know that, but I have more. I mean, Alex Nicholas hated my father, maybe even more than Elena did. He tried to ruin my father financially when my father was distributing that serum.
Well, you weren't even here when that was going on. I don't see how it applies.
No,
really.
but I heard about it. Alex Nicholas hates my father. And when he found out that Daddy considered you a member of the family, well, I'm sure he thought, well, I could set this guy up for murder.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain why he would kill his own daughter.
Well, I think that Elena and Dr. Nicholas were in on this together, and that he realized that Elena was unbalanced. That she was going to blow the whole thing, and he had to kill her to protect himself.
No, baby, I just can't buy it. We saw the man when he testified at my trial. He was in pain.
There's pain in guilt.
And there's pain in loss. As sure as I'm standing here, I know that he would give anything to have his little girl back again. We were watching a father mourning his daughter.
We know now that he's not her real father.
He's the one who counted. He raised her. He brought her up since she was a little
Yeah, but
girl. I mean,
come
that makes
on.
it real. Wait a second. She was the light of his life. The light went out. Pearl says he's been walking around town looking like a zombie ever since.
I think he's just terrified he's going to get caught.
Sorry. I know what it's like to go through that kind of a loss. I know what that is. It changes you. You can't help it. It takes every frame of reference you've been hanging on to and rips it out from under you. Terrified? You're damn right. You're terrified all the time. But it's not a matter of guilt. It's grief. The man's life is about grief.
Since I can't get either of you to stay put, the least you could do is try not to be recognized.
What's in these?
I don't know, Pearl put them together, you know, the master of disguise himself.
Yeah, I bet there's a nose glass and a little mustache in here for me and a nice long blonde wig for you.
No, that would never, this is mine, I think. That would never work, you see, because then people would think that I was you, and that would wreck the whole plan.
They'd ask you out on a date.
Well, it's good to see that both of you haven't let the threat of a sudden and violent death get to you.
What, you think we're being overconfident? It's a bluff, believe me.
No, I just think you need to watch your backs. This thing ain't over yet, okay?
We know that, Kane, but it does seem today there may be some daylight on the horizon.
You were damn lucky to get out of that doctor's office alive, which is more than you can say for him.
Oh, Kane, did we tell you about the symbol that we found on Dr. Schott's wall?
Oh, yeah, it's that same crazy thing that found at Elena's apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it in the paper.
I'll tell you what, man, that thing is going to solve this murder.
Well, we certainly don't need a roadmap, do we? Come on, we all know who the killer is.
If you're talking about Alex Nicholas, I'm not so sure we do.
Oh, for crying out loud. I mean, everything points to the man. It always has. Look, he is the man in the suit at the Laser Palace. He's
One problem. The man was not capable of killing that woman.
He did love her a lot. They were extremely close, Ken.
She was wacko. She was a psychotic. That does a lot for undercutting closeness, don't you think?
Weren't you the guy who told me that Nicholas himself, he never let himself see how crazy she really was?
Okay, maybe.
I mean, he was trying to reason with her until the very end, if I'm not mistaken.
Could he have been in on the plans with her?
Now, that's what I've been saying.
There's this thing I read about once called folie à deux. It's when two people get insanity together, like the flu. It explains why he's been acting the way he's been acting, why he's been trying to steal files, why he's been dodging Eden's questions. I mean, the man is a classic case of paranoia.
That seems to be true.
Well, what more evidence do you want?
I don't know. I just want more evidence. Everything we have now is circumstantial. And if you recall, that's the kind of evidence that got me convicted.
He had opportunity. And if she was as close to going off the edge into the stratosphere as we think, he had motive.
I can think of a couple people with stronger motives. Take you, for instance.
All right.
She took the most shattering event of your life and used it against you without a second thought. She held your experiences in Vietnam over you like a sword, man. She made you do any and every ugly thing she wanted. Think of, you had a pretty decent motive yourself, come to think of it.
Yeah, I suppose I did.
Yeah, I suppose you did. The woman tells you she's gonna take me away. You're in a wheelchair, you're half dazed from whatever you went through to get back to me. Maybe you thought that her threat was for real. Maybe you thought she'd pull it off. It doesn't stretch my imagination too far to see you being desperate enough to take her out. Do I make my point?
I still think it was Nicholas, and we need to keep an eye on it.
Well, keep an eye on it. Talk to the man. Ask him questions, Kane. Do whatever you want, but do not harass him. Don't pull no dirty Harry.
I'm not gonna
Listen.
I won't.
He's been through enough, okay?
I won't touch him.
Good. As for me, I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna figure out where it came from and what the hell it's trying to say to us.